Okay, so today we're going to shift gears a little bit and we're going to look at measurements, a little bit of a review of measurements. Taking something like 8 feet 3 inches and adding 4 feet 7 inches. When we work with measurements, it's just like adding any other numbers. When we add or subtract, we can only combine things that have the same name. In whole numbers, that was place value. In measurements, that is the units. The feet with the feet and the inches with the inches. So we do still have to line up columns, only now it's with the like units. And just like any other numbers, adding or subtracting, we'll start on the right and work our way backwards to the left. 3 inches and 7 inches make 10 inches. Now here's one of the differences, is we're not going to carry there because it's only 10. We wouldn't carry until we hit 12 because it's inches and feet. 8 feet and 4 feet make 12 feet. So 12 feet, 10 inches. We can run into ones like this. 7 feet, 11 inches plus 5 feet, 9 inches. We start here, 11 inches and 9 inches make 20 inches. Now that can be split into 1 foot and 8 inches. Good, we take out 12, we're left with 8. So you keep the 8 inches, you carry the 1 foot. 1 and 7 is 8 plus 5 is 13 feet. If we subtract, we're going to jump right into one with borrowing. 9 feet 2 inches minus 6 feet 11 inches. What do we have to do here? Perfect. We can't do 2 minus 11, so we have to borrow from the 9. That's 8 feet. This is going to be 14, because what we borrowed was 1 foot, or 12 inches. 2 plus 12 is 14. Now we do 14 minus 11 is 3 inches. 8 feet minus 6 feet is 2 feet. We can use different units. We can have 7 pounds, 13 ounces, plus 9 pounds, 8 ounces. Tell me what to do here. Not everybody at once. Yep. So we're going to start out. 13 and 8 make 21, which splits into 1 pound and 5 ounces. So we keep the 5 ounces and we carry the 1 pound. 1 and 7, 8 plus 9 is 17. Isn't a stone 18 pounds? Because it's just under 20 pounds. I know that. Because I know a hundredweight is defined to be 5 stones, but it's not really 100 pounds. Actually, no. A stone is 14 pounds. So let's say we got 6 pounds, 2 ounces minus 4 pounds, 12 ounces. What are we going to do? This will be 18 because there's 16 ounces in a pound. 18 minus 12, 6 ounces. 5 minus 4, 1 pound. 1 pound, 6 ounces. And of course, you guys know all your other units of measurement. So we'll jump to multiplication. Let's say 3 feet 9 inches times 6. Just like any other multiplication, we start and work our way back to the left. 6 times 9 is 54 inches, which is how many feet? 4 feet would be 48 inches, so how many inches are left over? 6 inches. So keep the 6 inches, carry the 4 feet. Then what? 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22 feet. So let's say we have 2 pounds, 7 ounces. We're going to multiply by 5. Tell me what to do. 5 times 7 is 35 ounces, which is 2 pounds, 3 ounces. So we keep the 3 ounces and carry the 2 pounds. And then 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12 pounds. Yeah, be careful. Some people would do the 2 plus 2 is 4 and go from there. You got to multiply before we add, remember. So, let's do it this way. Let's say we got something that's 7 feet 8 inches. We're going to divide it into 4 equal pieces. Division is the one operation that goes left to right. So we're going to 4 goes into 7 how many times? Once. So that's 1 foot. 1 foot times 4, 4 feet. So we subtract, there's 3 feet left over. Before we can bring down the 8, we have to convert the 3 feet into inches. It's 36 inches. 8 plus 36 is 44 inches. 44 divided by 4 is 11 inches. So 7 feet 8 inches. If we cut it into 4 equal parts, each part will be 1 foot 11 inches. Let's say we have 9 pounds, 7 ounces, and we're going to cut it into, or 17 ounces, I should say. We're going to cut it into 5 equal pieces. So 9 pounds divided by 5 is 1 pound. 1 pound times 5 is 5 pounds, leaving us with 4 pounds. Now what? 4 pounds is 64 ounces, plus 17 is 81 ounces. 81 divided by 5 is 16 point... What's wrong there? Oh, that's 17 ounces. How can I have 17 ounces? That's why. That should have been 15 ounces. I don't know where I came up with 17 ounces on that. Sorry. 15 plus 64 is 79. 79 divided by 5 is 15.8 ounces. So 1 pound, 15.8 ounces. What do you think? Good stuff? Better than a sharp stick in the eye? Good. Were you guys doing that in the garage today?
I was holding it above my head. What else could I do? So we put some plywood on.
Next step. What if we have something like this? .371 inches. We calculate a dimension. And we want to build something to the nearest 16th of an inch. How do I convert that to the nearest 16th of an inch? We're going to drop the 8. That's 8 whole inches. The .371 has to be changed to 16ths. Now, most of you just multiply by 16, but technically what you're doing is you're making it a fraction by putting it over 1. So it's .371 over 1. And then we're changing the denominator to 16 by multiplying by 16 on bottom. If we multiply the bottom by 16, we have to multiply the top by 16. So .371 times 16 is 5.936. So what that's telling us is that this is between 5/16 and 6/16. Which one is it closer to? 6/16, which reduces, of course, to 3/8. So that is 8 3/8 inches. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, you said the near 16th. Why do you have 3/8? Because 3/8 is a 16th. It's just in a simplified form. So if I have 27.769 inches, I want it to the nearest 32nd of an inch. Tell me what to do. Okay, drop the 27. So we have 0.69. Now what? Over 1. Times 32 over 32. I'll give you the bottom 32. What's the top?
25.47.
How about 24.6?
Shoot, I did mine.
24.608. No problem. It happens. So that tells us that this is between 24 30-seconds and 25. Which one is it closer to? That would bring it up to 25, yes. So that is 27 and 25 30-seconds. Simple enough? Okay, so why would we ever use this? Yeah, tape measures don't read decimal numbers. We might run into something like this, where we're given that this is a 6/12 slope, and we have a 32-foot span. We want to know the height. Pretend this is even on both sides. It's a common truss. We want to know the height, and we want to know, I'm going to call that J, the top chord length of the truss. How do I find the height? Okay, where did 16 come from? Good. Half of the span gives us the run of 16. We cross, multiply, and divide. 6 times 16 is 96. Divided by 12 is 8. So the height is 8 feet. Now to find this length here, what we're looking at is a right triangle here. That is the hypotenuse. We have both legs, 16 and 8. So that length is going to be the square root of 16 squared plus 8 squared. Or a squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? I'm just shortening up by putting the square root in. So second square root, 16 squared plus 8 squared gives me 17.888 feet. Now, I'm not going to clear my calculator. I'm going to leave this in the calculator. I'm going to subtract 17. So I have 17 feet. I'm going to keep that as part of my answer. What's left is a decimal feet that is going to have to be converted into inches. How do I convert it to inches? Times 12. I already subtracted the 17. So now times 12 gives me 10.662. So that means 10 inches. Now I'm going to subtract the 0.66. I can't change it into a fraction yet because I have to get rid of the whole inches. Now it's 0.6625. Now let's say I want this to the nearest 16th. And when you're dealing with roofs, it's customary to go to the 16th of an inch. So I'm going to take that decimal now times 16, which will be 10.6, or, yeah. I did the 12 to get the 10, yep. Here, let's do one more. Take it through the process again. So let's say this is a 16 and 12 slope on a 28-foot span. Let's find the height and that top chord length. So the height, 16 over 12 equals h over 14. So 16 times 14 divided by 12 is going to give us 16 or 18.667. So the height, now at this point you should recognize that 0.667 is 2/3, which of course is 8 inches. So this is 18 feet, 8 inches. Does that make sense? You guys got that down? Now, because this is a rounded decimal, I have to be careful now. To find this length, I need to reuse that. Most of your calculators should have a key that allows you to re-enter the answer into it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do second square root. Now I'm going to do second answer, which is telling my calculator to take that previous answer of the 18.666667 squared. $18.67. I leave the 6.7 just because that way I know that's 2/3 instead of just 0.7. 8 inches. 2/3 of a foot is 8 inches. Those are ones you should start recognizing. Like 1/4 of a foot is how many inches? 3. 1/4 of a foot is 3 inches. 1/3 of a foot is 4 inches. 1/2 a foot, of course, 6. 2/3 of a foot, 8, and 3/4 of a foot is 9. Those are ones that you should start recognizing in your calculations as they come up enough. So here I got that put in, plus this was 14 feet, so 14 squared equals 23.33. Well, this is going to be easy, which is 23 feet and how many inches? 4 inches. Yes, 1/3 of a foot is 4 inches. Let's get to one where we have to do a conversion. This is 40-foot span, 512 slope. Find height. Again, pretend that's even. And the top chord length here. Tell me what to do. H over 20. So you got 100 divided by 12, which is 8.33. So that's 8 feet and 4 inches. Now what? Okay, now I didn't do this in the calculator. I did this in my head, so now I got to figure out how to enter that in my calculator. So here's what I'm going to do. I have second square root of 20 squared plus, due to the 8 feet 3 inches, I'm going to do this. I'll put parentheses. 8. Oops, I got to put the squared in there, don't I? 20 squared plus parentheses. 8 plus 1 divided by 3 for 1/3 if I wanted to, or 4 divided by 12, however. I would do 1 divided by 3 for 1/3. So that's 8 1/3 squared. Many of your calculators have a fraction key, so you can do 8, ABC1, ABC3. Make sure you put that in parentheses so when you square it, it squares it correctly, though. So I hit equals, and it's going to give me, darn it, comes up to the 21.667, so 21 feet, 8 inches. We need to find one that comes up to a decimal so they can, Colt wants to see another example. What's that?
Why did that one come up?
That one came out to 21.66666 again. You look confused. What'd you get?
Well, I got that, but then I started making it into feet.
Well, here you subtract the 21
Well, I didn't do any counting.
and then multiply by.
Mine came up 21 feet, 7 inches, and 15 16, just shy of 8 inches.
Oh, because you punched this back in as 8.33333. Yeah. Yeah, but when you punch it back in,
I see how to do it now.
yeah, when you punch it back in as 8.33333, it's actually is dropping some 3s. Well, let's try another one. See if we can get one that comes out to be an ugly decimal for us to work with, hopefully. We're going to go with the 712 slope, make it as ugly as I possibly can imagine here. 36-foot span. Height and top chord length. What do I do? 712 equals h over 18. So this is going to be 10.5, right? So 10 feet, 6 inches. Look right? Not everybody at once. Okay. So now to find the top chord length, it'll be the square root of 18 squared plus 10.5. Isn't that hard to enter? So 10.5 squared is, there we got an ugly one. So that's 20 feet. So I'm going to subtract out the 20 feet. What do I do next? Well, I got to change those decimal feet into inches. So times 12, we'll turn that into inches. 10.06, that's 10 inches. If I subtract the 10, and let's say I want my remaining inches in 16ths. So it's 0.06 times the 16 is going to give us 1.02 or 1/16 of an inch. So 20 feet, 10 and 1/16. Oh, Menards, they just send it out to someone else engineer them anyway.
I met the guy that does it
Yeah.
down up there. I did a house for him. I did a shelter for him.
Well, shoot. ABC Trust down in Chautauqua hires a lot of people too. Do the design work. I worked there for a few years.
Aren't there trusts better than the trust?
Higher quality lumber.
That's what I thought.
The packet I'm going to give you, I'm going to have you do problems 1 through 38.